Okay, what is up, everybody? Wow, we're back, John. Can you believe it?
We're back. Yes, back in business.
After a month's hiatus, Smark Guys has returned, ladies and gentlemen, to the interwebs, YouTube, Twitch. No matter where you're watching, we thank you for joining us today. I am Darkside Phil. With me, as always, is the marvelous man, John Rambunctious
Marvelous.
Rambo.
I like that.
Yes.
Continue this introduction.
The man with the glossiest of Spider-Man shirts. There you go.
Made it myself.
With ink pen.
While we've been gone for the month, I was working
intricately drawing Spider-Man on a black
This is what I was doing for the last month while we were gone. I was working on the shirt.
All right, so today is Saturday, January 18th,
Jeez.
2014.
The whole year's almost over already.
I know, right?
Crazy.
It's crazy. And the month has been a very busy one for pro wrestling. We're going to have a lot to talk about. We are not by any means going to be recapping everything that's happened. There's been way too much going on. But this is a good week, I think, to jump back because it's the week before major pay-per-view. We can kind of get everyone back on track with the plot lines. There's a lot of things that have gone down over the past couple of weeks. So I guess to start the show, before we even get started with any kind of recaps, I think that we should take a moment to reflect on the passing of one of wrestling's great legends. Lived to be 91 years old.
Really? Wow.
91. Now think about that. For a pro wrestler to live to the age of 91, she was definitely doing something right.
It wasn't like she stopped for, like, she was doing it for
pretty much the entirety of her life. So, of course, we were talking about the late, great Mae Young, who has been within WWE programming in a different capacity pretty much her entire life, whether it was actually doing wrestling through the 90s and the Attitude Era, involved in several interesting storylines, I guess we should say. And always a nice return guest. Once in a while she'd have like a cameo appearance.
Yeah, it's a good thing to bring up. She was always would do whatever they wanted her to do.
Right.
Whatever.
Game for whatever they
whatever
have
I have to do to entertain the people, make a fool of myself.
If you want me to sleep with a 400-pound black man and give birth to a hand, I'll do it.
Yeah, whatever she could do to entertain, and truly will be missed, and all that stuff. So
yeah. So
I think my favorite moment with Mae Young. When Bubba Ray Dudley gave her the freaking
bubble bomb through the table, right?
Off the stage.
Off the stage.
She would do anything.
They actually showed that because they haven't.
Oh, they did.
They made a package for it, and they haven't, I don't think they've shown it like officially yet. But I saw the package.
Oh, okay.
And they showed that. I was like, I forgot about that. Holy shit! Dude.
Yeah. I remember that. I was like, what the? Watching that, I was like,
pretty good.
Like, that's not safe.
Right. But hey, she was a trooper and she was a great wrestler. So rest in peace. The next thing we want to talk about before we get started with any wrestling results, the huge announcement that WWE had last week, which could change the face.
Comfortable here. I'm not sure how to sit. I'll work on it. Don't worry.
Here you go.
Don't worry. Just keep going.
Want a blanket or something? Yes, an announcement that could change the way that people view wrestling programming, WWE programming overall completely. The WWE Network, which was announced, it wasn't this week, it was last week, which is going to be a on-demand and live streaming video service on multi-platform. It's supposed to be like on Xbox, PlayStation, PC, your iPad, pretty much anywhere where you can get live streaming video.
Anywhere you can get into the internet, you can get in.
Right.
Basically. So
much like Netflix, you have the ability to on-demand watch things such as the weekly wrestling show. So you're talking every single one. Raw, Smackdown, NXT, Main Event. And there's another one, too, that they mentioned that I can't really remember.
Saturday Morning Slam.
Well, they don't even have that anymore, right? That got canceled, I think.
Is it Main Event? Did you say that?
I said Main Event. I think there's...
Superstars.
It might be like a backstage one, I think, where it's like before and after Raw special show. That
I'm sure they'll do, there'll be additional stuff, too. I'm sure they'll do a pre-Raw, post-Raw.
Right.
All that kind of stuff.
So, and then in addition to that, starting with WrestleMania 30 this year, every WWE pay-per-view will be live streamed for no additional charge, and the whole history of WWE pay-per-views are available on demand, which is pretty crazy. Plus original programming. We've been talking for years about how they made that reality show Legends House, Total Divas. If that's your thing, you'll be able to access that. And other content as well.
Yes.
Other content as well. I think they've said there's going to be a show called The Monday Night Wars. And they actually mentioned after a few months they're going to try to do a live studio show, like daily on weekdays, where people just kind of recap what's going on. So this is like unprecedented. This is nothing like the business model WWE has done in the past. And, right now, admittedly, WWE is getting a lot of positive attention in the media. They're like, wow, this is really future thinking. This could be the future of basically on-demand pay-per-view style content. Now, also the big news is that it's going to be $9.99 a month, but there's a catch. It says required 6-month engagement. So basically, you sign a 6-month contract to pay $10 a month. And, of course, there's no explanation. Gee, does it go up after 6 months? Is there another contract after that? Hasn't been fleshed out yet, and it probably won't be until the 6 months is up. People will finally find out how that's going to work.
It's only in the United States, too, for quite some time.
Really? Okay.
I believe the whole first year.
Okay.
Will only be in the U.S., That's, I'm sure a lot of people are upset about that.
I'm sure that international people can find it illegally all over the internet anyway.
They'll be on Justin TV. They'll be mirrored.
Yeah, they'll be streaming it the whole time.
Yeah, that's that's something they have to watch out for, I guess.
Right.
But, it's interesting.
It's interesting.
You're gonna get it, or what?
I've decided I am gonna get it just for the fact that you get every pay-per-view, which I like, and it's on demand, so I don't have to watch the pay-per-view live. That's a big hassle for me right now because I'm working a lot of the times when the pay-per-views are on, and I can't record them. I don't know if people know this, but if you have a cable company, you can't DVR a pay-per-view. It won't let you. You try to do it.
They don't want you to do it.
Right. It blocks it out. So if I don't catch it live, I can't watch it. Now I'll be able to watch them on demand whenever I want.
Well, let's be honest, the pay-per-views are a ripoff in the current state.
Oh my God, it's like $40 plus $70 of tax on top.
And like you said, you can't DVR it. You can't, you don't really have access to it after it's
after it's
on.
live. Right.
So you can't keep watching it. A lot of times they're not very good. They're not worth the $50 in the first place, even if you do watch it when it's on.
It's right.
So for $10, you can kind of justify
for $10
the whole thing, plus the other content.
Right, you're going to give me all this content. I can't really complain. Even if the pay-per-view's bad, I can't really complain because it wasn't,
Although there's something that you liked on the thing during the course of the month,
right?
Then maybe to you it's justifiable.
And the other thing, the big thing for me is that a lot of the times my DVR will screw up. This actually just happened this week. My DVR screwed up and for whatever reason didn't record Smackdown. Now I'll be able to watch the shows whenever I want at my leisure on demand and not have to worry about, oh no, I missed it. And cool stuff like NXT. Previously, you could only watch that, say, on like PC or whatever.
You can watch it on Hulu.
So now I can watch it through this service in full HD, on my TV without having to pay for Hulu or whatever the hell the other services it is. And I'll be honest, I like this other idea of being able to see previous pay-per-views. Like Batista's coming back. Wouldn't it be awesome to be able to go back and see some of his biggest matches over the years and kind of reacquaint yourself with the character?
Well, maybe not to me. Maybe someone.
Okay. Well, maybe someone would like to do that.
As long as it works the way that you think it's going to work.
Right.
If they have Raw for it's up for a day,
and then they take it
down, or if it's like the pay-per-views really aren't all there,
right,
or like something like that.
Hopefully not.
Then or they're not gonna have them all at once. They're gonna take some down, put some later,
right,
shuffle things around, and.
Well, I've already told John. The very first thing that I'm going to watch on this when it goes live.
Episode 1.
I'm going to watch the Katie Vick episode of Raw because that is by far the best one ever done, and I have to watch that epic storyline.
Are they going to have things like that removed? Are they going to edit?
No, they'll be highlighted. They'll have highlighted sections, worst plot lines ever.
I don't know. So you got to see how it's all going to work. But
Katie Vick, Shawn Michaels teams with God. We'll have all these good ones. That's what I want to watch.
Oh boy. So I think if you're a fan of the current product, I think it's really great.
Yes.
Me personally, I don't know. I'm gonna hold off, see what's there, because I mean, they're saying every WCW, every ECW show. I saw all of those before, and I know that they're going to be editing. They're going to the entrances. I'm sure they're going to be editing other stuff out. So for me, it's not. It doesn't make me go crazy.
Right. Maybe it's just that's a good point. Maybe it's just the matches. Maybe it's not the in between stuff, the Raw show. It's just the matches. I don't know. Because
we know they had the on demand service in the past, and they would they would mess with things. They screw things. Like the ECW stuff, they stick their logo everywhere in the WCW. It's like, why? You already are watching it through their thing, on their DVD, on whatever. So they tend to butcher a lot of the past footage. And I don't really like the current product. So for me, I don't really want to spend $10 on that. But we'll see. Maybe there's something in there that might be enticing. I don't know. I would hope for more wrestling-based stuff. There's been talk in the past of doing a cruiserweight show. Of doing different types of wrestling shows.
Highlight different styles of wrestling.
That's the kind of thing that would make me go. Because there's already enough wrestling for me every month that I watch that I really like. I don't need more. And stuff I already saw or stuff I don't like. So
John.
That's me. I'm very
Legends
negative.
House, man. You can't not watch Legends House.
Maybe that'll be amazing.
Thing's been recorded for like 3 years.
I'll just come here and watch it. I'll just watch it.
So that I believe they said it's sometime in February. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, the end of the month.
So it's supposed to go live after a certain Raw in February.
You could start signing up in like February.
Okay.
24th or something.
Yeah. And then right after Raw, you can basically watch Raw or whatever you want afterwards. So I'm going to do it. And on a future Smark Guys, we'll be discussing the thing. Maybe, hell, we have the capability. We might even be able to go through it. And you know what I mean?
Stream it live from the Xbox One app.
I don't think we're going to do that.
And then we will... Yes.
We will stream every pay-per-view illegally live. Yes. We're announcing it now. All right.
So another thing, like a lot of those pay-per-views are available to you. I mean, they're not supposed to be.
Right. You still find them. Yeah.
They're on YouTube. They're on they're not like you have to go into like the depths of the internet to get them. That's something you're gonna have to try to clean up. Like you can watch pretty much any of those pay-per-views now.
For me, I like
and they're not edited like they're going to be due to them.
Right. The reason I like it is because I like full quality HD on my TV, and I know
the old ones aren't in HD.
Surround sound. Well, you know that the old ones aren't, but you know what I mean. Like the full pay-per-view surround sound that they recorded in now. The shows will be high quality versus like last night. I missed out on Smackdown. I had
a low quality.
I found like a low quality, obviously ripped from something version, and I watched it, so I saw what happened, but it wasn't, it's not the same experience for me.
Yeah, I got you with that, but I mean, they're gonna have to clean it up because there's like the other day I watched Saturday Night Main Event from like 1988.
Wow.
I watched like a couple days ago. It was on, the whole thing's on YouTube, so
right.
they're gonna have to try to crack down on that stuff. I also think it's gonna hurt them the fact that it's not on television.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of the fans aren't going to understand how this is done or how they can watch. I'm paying $10 and how do I do this?
What's an Xbox?
Yeah, you're gonna have issues like that. Because wrestling, the only thing that really is successful that's broadcasted is Raw. Because it's consistent. And it's been that way for so long.
Yep.
So people know, Monday nights at this time on USA, it's always going to be there. That's when wrestling's on. And you see SmackDown. Even SmackDown's a huge drop-off in ratings. The other stuff is completely not even on the map compared to Raw. So, and the other wrestling promotions aren't close to
not even
that.
close.
So you got to try to pull from that Raw audience because they're saying they're going to get 1 million people. So Raw is between 3.5 to 4 million. They're saying 1 million. They expect 1 million to sign up for the network. So you got to get 1 million of those people to move away from their systematic,
how they do it every week,
comfortable thing. Monday, USA, So we'll see if they can do that.
Well, it's funny you mention that because starting February 24th, approximately 25% of every Raw will be explaining how to sign up for WWE Network.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
they'll have every device. They'll have like a giant table with like 40 computers and fucking smartphones, and here's how you do it. They do it now with the app. Why wouldn't they do it with that? So, all right. So that's enough of that. That's just some future thinking speculation. Let's talk about what's actually going on currently in the wrestling promotions. We'll go through Raw, and if you have not watched Smark Guys in the past month, you're going to basically, or I'm sorry, you couldn't watch Smark Guys in the past month, but if you haven't watched...
We've been doing it, we just haven't been broadcasting it.
If you have, what I meant to say is...
It's being done alone.
In a closet.
Yeah.
If you haven't watched wrestling in the past month since we last did Smark Guys, you're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? So just to give you an example, the very first match of Raw to open the show...
You still won't know if you explain it, because a lot of it doesn't make sense at all, but there you go.
The Usos in a tag team match against Bray Wyatt and Daniel Bryan.
I don't know.
So the ongoing storyline is that Daniel Bryan, after months of fighting against the Power, fighting against the Wyatts, fighting against everyone who was against him, he couldn't reach the top. He couldn't be the upper echelon because they didn't want him to be the face of the WWE. They didn't want him to be the champion, no matter how much he fought and no matter how much the fans cheered for him. Yes, he couldn't make it because the Power held him down. He decided to join the Wyatt family.
That's why he did it?
That's why he did it. That's the plot line they went with.
Well, why would he join the Wyatts and not join the Authority or...
Because he feels that the Wyatts are like this rogue splinter group who are going to rage against the machine and they're going to fight the Power.
They worked for Triple H at times.
I know they did, and that's why this makes no sense at all, but that's why he's joining.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so for 2 weeks he's been in matches with them. Incidentally, every match he's been in, they've lost.
Yeah, they're really pushing him.
So every time he loses... Bray Wyatt does the Sister Abigail finisher to him. and it's really weird. It's awkward. So this week they have this tag match against the Usos. They lose again. Okay?
Yeah.
And again, he takes the Sister Abigail. And then it's announced that later tonight, there's going to be a match again. It's going to be a rematch in a steel cage. Okay?
Yeah.
They're going to do the same match again in a steel cage.
Yes.
John Cena has a match with Damian Sandow. If you don't know what's going on with this plot line, Randy Orton is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He won back at TLC. He beat John Cena clean, which I was surprised that he actually beat him clean. I thought they would do some of their usual heelish bullshit, but he beat him clean. Basically,
didn't he handcuff him and shit?
Well, but the match that was allowed. It was a TLC match, and it was allowed, so it wasn't like he cheated to win. It was a smart move.
Okay.
He handcuffed him. Cena ripped the ropes off the ring. So then when Cena was up and about to grab the briefcase, the ropes were stuck to his hand, and he just pulled the ropes, and Cena went right to a table. It was a good spot. So anyway, Randy Orton is the champion. Ever since he won the championship, he's been a whiny bitch. I don't want to wrestle him. I don't want to wrestle him. Why? I'm the champion. I'm the face. You should, obey me or whatever. So John Cena is going to get his rematch at Royal Rumble, okay? John Cena has this match with Damian Sandow. It's a pretty good match, but it's pretty much as far as they're going to let it go. It's similar to the match they had, a few months ago where Sandow cashed in his money in the bank. At least in this situation, Sandow didn't, destroy him with ladders and chairs and shit beforehand and then lose. So at least it doesn't make him look that bad like they did months ago. But he still loses. They're not going to let Sandow beat Cena, let's face it here. It's they're not gonna ever let Sandow go over in a capacity like that. If they don't let anyone else do it, they're not gonna let him do it. So it's a good match.
Does he go over anyone, Sandow?
Not recently, no. Really, he just he's become the big jobber at this point. The Big Show. Now, I guess we should explain the plot line that's going on here. So Brock Lesnar has returned. He's not on every Raw, but he's on multiple ones now.
Yeah.
He's returned. Yeah. Paul Heyman is still his guy. Which makes no sense, of course. So we talked about the fast 3 times that he came back and Paul Heyman was his guy.
Well, I'll go with that. It's
and
okay.
So
he adds to the whole thing with him.
So basically, he came back and he announced that he is the number 1 contender no matter what. I'm just naming myself number 1 contender. I don't care what anyone else says. I want to be in the loop here and be in the running for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Mark Henry came out and challenged him. To which Brock Lesnar basically speared him through the the protection wall ringside, and then he F5'd them. So the whole plot line that week was, oh my God, Brock Lesnar, the Beast is back. Look what he did to Mark Henry. The next week, Mark Henry attacks him again. He puts him in a Kimura lock and breaks his arm, supposedly. Okay, breaks Mark Henry's arm. Even though Mark Henry's arms are twice the size of Brock Lesnar's, and good luck ever trying to really do that. That's the plot line they're going with. So then after that, Big Show comes out. So now Big Show and Brock have this standoff in the ring. Big Show basically grabs him and throws him across the ring. So there's been announced that at Royal Rumble there'll be a match, Big Show against Brock Lesnar. Anyone who's been around WWE knows exactly what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
Brock Lesnar's going to squash the fuck out of him. And that's the whole point here, to make him look strong.
One of the things I want to bring up with Brock Lesnar is when he first came back a couple weeks ago, Triple H brought him back.
Yes.
And then they shake hands.
Yes.
So the whole, year or whatever before this of them feuding and him breaking his arm. And
write it off.
And it doesn't matter.
Didn't happen.
Now they're friends.
Yes.
It's just, I understand why they do it. They do it because they don't want to have continuity. Because if you have continuity, then it's harder to write a story.
Right.
Because then you have to always remember that these guys don't have an issue. And then it's easier for them to just go, that never happened, here we go. But it goes back to what I always say. It's stuff just doesn't really matter that happens.
Right.
So it's hard to really get invested in it, the storytelling, when it's just, they wipe it away, I feel like a WrestleMania from this year, from last year that we went to,
was worthless.
None of it matters now. It's only been it was 6 months ago or whatever. I don't know,
it's worthless now. It's just completely written off, and none of that stuff matters.
Like Rock Cena, Rock's gone, never coming back probably.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't matter. Triple H and Lesnar, they're friends now.
Yep.
So that didn't matter. Punk and Undertaker's gone.
Yep.
Punk is now a face. He was a heel then. That doesn't matter.
Bryan and Kane, Kane's not even wrestling anymore.
Ryback and Mark Henry are completely different things. So that's part of the problem that I personally don't like, is that there's not a lot of importance to things that happen. And what I'm starting to realize, a lot of people don't care about that. A lot of the fans they just go, whatever. This is what's happening now.
We'll put up with it, right?
But I don't know. It's a different way of looking at it, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
So Speaking of Big Show, which was the whole point of what I was talking about, he has a match against Jack Swagger, and it's a squash match. I don't know why they had it. It was like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Now you remember a few years ago, Jack Swagger was the champion, and Big Show couldn't beat him. Now Big Show can beat him within like 2 minutes, no problem.
No, it's because now Big Show, he's a monster again.
Right.
But the problem is, like, a couple of weeks ago he was crying and
it was whining and crying.
Again, that never happened.
Job. No, never happened.
He was feudal. He was attacking Randy Orton. The Authority was screwing his life up and all that. Now he doesn't care about that. That never happened. Now he's Brock Lesnar, sure.
Brock Lesnar's next.
Because Lesnar needs someone to beat up the Rumble, like
exactly.
you said. And they don't know how to create a storyline.
Exactly.
That's interesting beyond the Big Show's a monster and he wants to fight Lesnar.
So,
and if Lesnar wants the title, doesn't he enter the Rumble or something? He's not going to be in it at all.
Doesn't care.
Now he doesn't care about that.
He is the number one contender no matter what. He proclaimed it. He doesn't need to enter the Rumble like everybody else.
All right, well, he's not going to get a shot.
That's right.
Doesn't make sense.
So, Big Show beats Jack Swagger in record time, then grabs Zeb Coulter, knocks out Zeb Coulter, which everyone was like, oh my God, he knocked out an old man, a grandfather. How could he do that? I don't know. It's just for comedy relief purposes.
That was funny.
The Shield apparently was supposed to be because when Big Show hits him, he does a big wind-up punch like this. Yeah. That's WWE humor, John. CM Punk teams up with the New Age Outlaws to take on the Shield. Now,
they're like all over the place. Now they're on SmackDown too.
Yeah, you might want to say, what's going on? Well, last week was Old School Raw for the year. They brought back all these people, who usually only once a year they show up for this Old School Raw show. New Age Outlaws was one of them, and they won a big match that week, so they ended up bringing them back on SmackDown. And now they're back again on Monday Night Raw again, right? So it's this 6-man tag, and Punk's going for the hot tag, and the New Age Outlaws drop off the ring and walk to the back, leaving him alone. So now the plot line is that the New Age Outlaws have screwed over CM Punk because they work for the Authority and they're friends with Triple H. And that's the plot line they're going with. Okay?
Okay.
AJ finally on the TV for the first time in weeks. They finally let her wrestle instead of the stupid Bellas. And she's back. She teams up with Tamina to wrestle the Funkadactyls, and she wins. Nothing really else to be said there. Kofi. Oh, now this was. I don't know where they're going with this, but this was interesting. Kofi Kingston against Randy Orton. All right, Randy Orton didn't want to wrestle, but the Authority makes him wrestle against his will, and it's a cool spot because Randy Orton is going to go for the DDT off of the ropes, and Kofi reverses it into the not the SOS, that move that he does that he flips.
Trouble in Paradise.
No, it is the SOS. I called it wrong. Yeah, it is the SOS because Trouble in Paradise is the other one.
Yeah.
So he reverses it into a SOS and pins him. And so now Orton's livid. He's flipping out. He can't believe he lost. What is this bullshit? How could this be? He starts destroying everything at ringside. He's smashing the table and everything. Then she sees, of course, they're in Rhode Island. So John Cena's father's in the audience apparently watching.
Yeah.
He attacks John Cena's father. And the plot line they're going with is that he broke his orbital bone with a punch, knocked him out. And so John Cena's father's hurt. And now, of course, that's going to fuel John Cena. Oh, when I go for my rematch at the Royal Rumble, he'll be infused. He'll be part of the storyline.
So it's not really about Kofi at all. You know?
And in fact,
someone might look at that and that's like the, that's the mistake you'll make. Because you go, oh, well, Kofi beat Orton, blah, blah, blah. But it's nothing to do with him. He'll be back to doing his usual thing, losing to Miz.
Oh, yeah. No, because I guarantee next week on Raw, they'll probably have the rematch, and Orton will squash him, and that'll be it.
Yeah, so it's not even about him,
Right.
And the match is stupid because Orton beat the shit out of him the whole match, and then he hits the one move.
Right, the SOS. Yep.
But it's not like the move is like this built as this thing where if he hits that, it's over. Like he's hit other people with it. Like he can't even beat the Miz. He can't even beat his trouble with Sandow and those other people. So it just comes off as really random. Like, oh, okay.
All right.
We need to beat John Cena's dad up.
Exactly. It's a means to an end. They wanted to get that to happen for the plot line. That's how it happened. Cody Rhodes and Goldust, who are still the tag team champions, by the way, defeat Ryback and Curtis Axel, who are going by the name Rybaxel. It's like, oh my lord, did you really think that up yourself, buddy?
Storm.
And it's bad. Those two, I feel bad for those two because they had big momentum. Ryback in particular, earlier this year, had real big momentum, and then they turned him heel, and now he's just absolutely nowhere. You got Curtis Axel, who had momentum when he first debuted, and he was with Paul Heyman. Now he's just fizzled out, and he has nothing to do.
They gave him a bunch of those stupid wins, like count out and over Triple H and Cena, and they thought that was good enough, and then they go, oh wait, you didn't really get over, so it's your fault. And
right.
that's that.
Oh, I just got to read this one sentence. Listen, Ryback, who's now operating on a new level of goonish dominance. I just had to read that because that was like
They have some good writing in there sometimes,
really weird.
especially with the Matadores.
Oh my God!
They go
Yes,
crazy with that.
the legend lives. So anyway, the Rhodes brothers go over them, and those two are basically mid-card nightmares forever. I don't know how they're ever going to get a push out of there. Alberto Del Rio is now in a big feud with Batista, which is hilarious because Batista isn't back yet. Yet he's already got people in feuds with him before he's ever stepped foot back into the ring. So Batista's supposed to
We never
debut.
spoke about Batista returning.
He's returning next week. But there has been nothing. He hasn't appeared. He hasn't said anything. There hasn't been any footage, anything new. So we have no idea what to expect next week. They could rebrand him as, I don't know.
No, he'll be back
Deacon
to...
Bautista like he was originally.
No.
He'll come out collecting money with chains.
No, he'll be Batista, but again, I think he's gonna win the Rumble.
You think so?
He's gonna come back and destroy Alberto. He's gonna beat totally annihilate him. He's gonna win the Rumble. He's probably gonna win the title too. But again, this is the problem. This is the guy from the past. He's 45 years old. He's okay. He's not like amazing, but he's what they want. He's from the past. And he's gonna be in a movie. So to them, it's like, give this man millions, whatever he needs. I'm sure he's getting paid like insanely well.
I do want to say, I just saw him in Riddick, and he was actually quite good. He was actually probably one of the best actors in the damn movie. I actually wish they gave him a better role because the other people sucked.
Yeah.
So, but I just want to say that.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the guys that they have now, they always tell us this. They suck. The guys from the past are like gods, and they will return to destroy the current guys. And it's a major problem. You don't have to bring back Batista, give him millions of dollars. You could have made Batista. You could have made a Brock Lesnar. They choose not to do it. They just go, no, these guys suck.
I think it is important to note, too, that Batista has been very public and vocal about how he dislikes the WWE product right now, and he has purposely stayed away and not sought to go back. That WWE, I guess, went after him in this
They gave him an
particular
insane deal, and
instance.
he'll do whatever they want.
Right.
I get it. It's what it is. He's got the Lesnar deal, whatever.
Come back.
Here's an insane amount of money. Come have matches that aren't very good.
Yeah, but in
you're big.
In Batista's defense, he is a better wrestler than Brock Lesnar, I feel. Pro wrestler, not amateur, but pro wrestler. I think he's got a move set where you know what I mean? He's like the archetype pro wrestler kind of a guy.
I don't know. That's a whole debate right there.
Lesnar will spend half the match punching. That's what I mean.
He'll be around more. He'll be around more than Lesnar is too, because Lesnar's really not there much at all.
Right.
He'll be around more consistent basis than him.
Right.
But I mean, to give Batista a 45 and that pay him that and have him come in to kill everyone, that's the thing. He's got it. He's in the movies. He's big and he's from the past. So those are the things
that's
that
all they care about.
Vince is like all about that. He can whatever he wants. So
all right.
I think he's gonna win. I would pick him to win the Rumble. Yeah.
Oh, I think it's gonna be him. An interesting prediction.
He'll be him and Orton at Mania. The match will suck. And Batista will win.
Interesting.
Yes, you can watch the network. And they'll talk about how great it was afterwards in the post show.
That's right. Okay, so we were talking about people feuding with Batista, and he's not even back yet. Alberto Del Rio has been talking about Batista for like 3 weeks now, slandering him, even though he's never wrestled him, slandering him and all this stuff. So apparently, there's going to be a big rivalry at the Royal Rumble between Del Rio and Batista, or either that or Del Rio will just get knocked out immediately, which is probably what's going to happen.
Yeah, he's going to destroy him. He's going to destroy him.
So Del Rio has a match this week against Rey Mysterio. He beats him, which is funny because Rey, didn't he always have the upper hand on Del Rio previously?
And now they've had a lot of matches.
They're flipping it, so I don't know. The match is nothing to
Sin Cara is who's Sin Cara now? Hunico?
He's someone else. I know. I don't know who he is.
It's
Hunico. Because we've never seen the tattoo, that weird tattoo on his arm.
I believe it's Hunico. I can't remember exactly.
Okay, it would make sense because the other guy's gone, right? They got rid of him.
He's still employed, but he's not there. They sent him home.
He sits at home eating Mexican food.
That's the other thing with Batista. He's constantly injured. He was injured for a large portion of his career. So, again, is he even going to be lasting that long, or is it just going to work?
Okay, so the main event, as we said, is the Usos again against Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt in a steel cage. There's some miscommunication. Bryan ends up, getting hit, or I think he kicks Bray. Something happens, and they end up losing again. So finally, Bray, again, at the end of the match, puts him in the Sister Abigail. He's going to punch him again for losing. Daniel Bryan reverses the Sister Abigail, takes his suit, because he's been wearing this suit, this long...
Yeah, he's wearing the Duke the Dumpster Drosy outfit.
Yeah, you're right. That's what it is. It's like a garbage man suit. He takes it off, and underneath he's been wearing the Daniel Bryan gear all along. He attacks Bray Wyatt viciously, and now Bray is like, all, what's happening? In the plotline, let's analyze this in a nutshell. Within 3 weeks, Daniel Bryan completely changed his mindset, said, I'm not going to be this fan favorite anymore. I'm turning on the fans because even though they supported me, the power of that B will not let me be the guy. So I'm going to join this splinter group that's anti-authority. He joins the splinter group, loses a bunch of matches, and then just changes back to who he was within 2 weeks.
It just makes no sense. I just don't get it.
And it wasn't even like they sold it like, it was a trick. He held one over on him, you know what I mean?
No, it's like he legit joined and then turned.
And turned.
In 3 weeks.
Like, huh? It doesn't make any... I don't get it. I'm so confused.
The creative team is bad. They decided, let's take the most popular guy we have, the biggest face of the year. He won the Superstar of the Year. And on the last Raw of the year, let's turn him heel.
Yeah.
In a terrible way to do it, too.
Horrible. Makes no sense.
He had it was a gauntlet. He beat the two guys.
Yes, he did.
He beat Rowan and Harper, and then he goes, now I'll join you.
I'll join you.
He goes, now, after he beat them, now he goes, now it's too much. Even though he has his hands on Bray, he could beat him up there. No, I will join. Okay. I think they realized how stupid that was.
I think, here's what I think.
They decided to go back. They had to go back on it.
I think that there was one writer in WWE, and he's probably one of the senior writers.
He's probably Vince McMahon.
And he had this plot line, because all last year they teased this too. The whole last 2 months of 2013 they teased this. And he just was so adamant that you must do this plot line. You must do it. And they said, well, fine, we'll do it, but we're not going to let it last. But they had to do it. So they did it, and I'm like, fuck this, we don't want this anymore. And they got rid of it because they knew that Daniel Bryan's white hot with the fans. They don't want him to be a heel.
No, they're dumb. And they think that, they thought they were going to get over Bray Wyatt by doing this. Oh, he took Daniel Bryan, the favorite, and he corrupted him and blah, blah, blah. But this is the problem. Bray Wyatt has everything you need to get over, okay? He's got a good gimmick, he could talk, he could work. He's got it all. This is all you got to do, friends. You put him in the ring and you have him beat people. Put him in there with anyone. They don't have a lot of good face. Put him there with Cena. Have him beat him. That's all you have to do with this guy. Let him talk before and after the match. They go, no. The way to get him over, turn Daniel Bryan heel. So then they realize it's a mistake, and then no one likes it, and the fans aren't going to give up on Daniel Bryan no matter what they do to him.
Right.
Which has really been the story of him his entire career, his run there, going back to WrestleMania where they had him lose in 18 seconds. They didn't give up on him then. They didn't give up on him when they had him win the title for 2 seconds multiple times, and then they screwed him and never finished that plot line.
Yeah. They dropped it.
So then they decided, okay, we got to turn him face again. We're about to launch a network. We just pissed off a large portion of our fans.
Yeah.
So
that's really going to make them want to pay.
They turn him back, but they hurt Bray Wyatt in this, right? Because what did he get out of this whole thing?
Nothing. It looks like
he comes off like a complete idiot.
He's a buffoon,
right? So now they're probably going to do a feud with the two of them. But you already did the big moment where you beat the shit out of him and celebrated with the audience. So what's the point of it going to be?
Yeah,
Bray's just going to lose more matches to him, and then in the mid card, and that's that.
I agree with you. The plot is nonsensical, and it was very.
I think it hurt both guys.
If you knew that you were going to reverse it, just don't do it. You know what I mean? Don't do it. But
I think they hurt both of the guys in it. Honestly, like Daniel Bryan was a coward, and he joined him, and then Bray's a complete moron. They can't. The other two are trying to get in the cage, and they can't.
Right. Oh,
I mean, it's just
we're too big.
Horrible, dude. This is the part I hate about the company, man. I just really hate them. Like Daniel Bryan, look at that reaction he gets. Look at, he won the Superstar of the Year. Why is he not in the main event spot?
He's in nothing. He's a stupid.
Instead, they go, no, we have to stop this. Turn him heel. We must stop this. It's insane. It's completely. I don't know. It's very frustrating to watch.
Okay. So now let's talk about Smackdown. The New Age Outlaws getting a match against Cody Rhodes and Goldust out of nowhere. And so this just broadens the conspiracy theory that, they didn't deserve it. Why are they getting a shot against the tag team champions? It wasn't for the titles, but saying this is the authority. They had him screw over CM Punk on Monday. Now they're giving him a good high-profile match. And oddly enough, so during the match, right, Vicky comes out and starts rambling about the Royal Rumble, which distracts everyone. So I think it was Billy Gunn. He rolls up Cody and gets the win. And it's like, so that the Authority again told Vicky to come out and start rambling to distract everyone, and they get the cheap win. So there's something going on right now, some plot line with the New Age Outlaws, and we're going to see what happens with this, okay? Paul Heyman says that Brock Lesnar will be on Monday Night Raw again. Big Show comes out and intimidates him. It's a really stupid segment. That makes no sense. Rey Mysterio has a return match against Alberto... not return match, a rematch against Alberto Del Rio. This time, Rey Mysterio wins. So now it's 1-1. And they're like, is this a series that's going to go on, this rivalry? And the answer is no, because we all know at the Royal Rumble, it's going to be Del Rio being destroyed by Batista. So this is just filler. Naomi beats Tamina in a singles match, which is surprising. But, again, Divas Division really has nothing going for it. So does this really matter? The best part about this match... Naomi did a perfectly executed springboard. What do they call it? Remember the RVD does this in the corner? It's the split backflip,
split-legged leg drop, or
split-legged moonsault. Yeah. She did it. It was perfect, like dead on. And I'm like, if she really put a lot of work, she could be a great female wrestler. It's just she's still a little green. But out of all the people in there that they're trying to get to wrestle, she's better than the Bellas. She's better than that Candice girl. She's better than almost everyone. And by the way, we should mention, Caitlyn was released last week. And she was like the last legit, besides Natalya and AJ and Tamina, she was like the last legit wrestler that they had, and they got rid of her. So, I don't know what's going on with the female division right now. Obviously, they don't even care.
It's all about the show.
Yeah, Total Divas. Right. Bray Wyatt addressed Daniel Bryan's betrayal and said absolutely nothing. He just rambled and literally had made 0 points in what he said, so it was a worthless promo. It's not even clear if they're going to go after him or not. It's very stupid. Biggie Langston beats Fandango in a squash. Okay. The Shield promises to be unified when they're in the Royal Rumble match, even though they say that each one will throw another member out if they have to win, but that they will be unified until that point.
Okay.
The Usos beat the Real Americans. There's really nothing to talk about here. It was a stupid comedy match where they come out, they roll out Zeb Coulter in the wheelchair because he got hit by the Big Show on Monday. They accidentally let go of the wheelchair and it goes rolling down the ramp by itself. They have to chase after the wheelchair. In the match, one of the Usos grabs the wheelchair with Zeb and he runs it into Cesaro. It was silly and stupid. I don't know why they did this match. And the final event of the night, you think, how can they top this marvelous night of wrestling off, right? CM Punk comes to the ring and he calls out the Shield and the New Age Outlaws because he wants to know what's going on with the Authority. Of course, they try to attack him. Kane interrupts, says, no, don't worry, the Authority's on your side now. We're going to protect you from now on. We actually want you to main event WrestleMania. And so Punk says, I don't buy it, you're full of crap. So in case Kane chokeslams him, and that's the end of the show.
What's the thing with Kane with Brad Maddox where he's like, I can't attack you now, but if I'm a wrestler, I can attack you? What does that mean?
I don't know. He can't attack him, but...
A wrestler can attack anyone.
Yeah, he can attack CM Punk, but he can't attack Brad Maddox.
If you're a wrestler, you can attack anyone. It's fine.
It makes no sense.
They're doing, it's all very, paid by numbers, man. They show the mask sometimes, so eventually he's going to put the mask on and then attack him, and
All right, so... I guess we got to do it, John. We got to talk about TNA, which
this was bad, man.
Quite the rocky month. Let's explain what's been going on.
Very disappointing. I watched this whole show. We're not talking about the show. I watched the whole show.
Well, no, we're going to talk about it. I want to recap because remember, we haven't talked about it in a month. So last one we talked about TNA, Magnus had become the champion. And remember, it was by questionable means because Rockstar Spud had pushed Jeff Hardy off the ladder. And so I said at that point, I really hope that they don't make Magnus this heelish character and say that he's sold out and that, he really isn't a good wrestler. He can't do anything by himself.
That's exactly what he did.
And that's exactly what they've done for the past month. They made him a weak character.
No reason to do
it. He's a whiner.
He's like 6'4" probably. He's a big dude.
Right.
He can talk. He's got everything you want. No, he's a coward champion.
Right.
He's completely can't do anything on his own, and that's who he is.
Right. So over the past month, just to give you, if you haven't watched TNA, holy shit, the changes that have happened, all right? Jeff Hardy quits. Jeff Hardy on TV says he quits.
That's because they're going to Europe and he can't go there.
Oh, really? That's what it was?
Yeah, so he's not allowed out of the country, so
supposedly he
he'll
quits.
He'll be back.
AJ returns.
You know what's funny about that, by the way?
What?
I went to a TNA show about 2 weeks ago. After he did that, I quit. He was on the show. It was a one night only pay per view I went to.
Right.
And he was there, and they just didn't say anything. So that was kind of funny.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he supposedly quits. Sting is so anti-Dixie now. He's completely anti-Dixie. He hates Ethan Carter III. He hates anyone who's entitled. His basically campaign is to get rid of this ridiculous bias, okay? AJ comes back.
Sting's been doing that for a long time, man.
That's true.
He's been doing that for many, many decades.
Since WCW.
NWO, you're going to take it. Like,
so, AJ comes back.
He's got to find a good place to work where his bosses don't try to abuse him.
Or dicks.
Yeah, jeez. Maybe it's him. Maybe he's causing this somehow. I don't know.
AJ comes back and challenges Magnus for a unification match. Dixie agrees to it. Excuse me. And so the night of this unification match, basically Dixie Carter strategically takes out every face in the company.
Her own employees.
Her own employees, who she's contractually obligated to keep healthy. Out of them. So she, Joseph Park gets double spine busted onto a railing. Everyone systematically.
They told him his family was killed or something.
Yeah, they told his family there was an explosion or something. He has to get home. He goes home, nothing's wrong. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
Couldn't call them again.
The most hilarious plot lines
couldn't
ever.
Call
right?
them.
So
text them and see what's going on.
Everyone's neutralized, but Sting.
Yeah.
So Sting comes out desperately stinging AJ. It's like Sting and AJ against every heel in the company. Of course, eventually the numbers get to them. AJ loses. AJ's now out of the company for good. Legit gone. And dropped the title.
He's legit gone.
So what was the point of the whole plot line is my question, because...
Of what? The AJ storyline?
There was no culmination.
No, they thought they could re-sign him. The real story is he had a contract extension that brought him through Bound for Glory. They put the belt on him. They told him, listen, you could do some in Japan, Mexico,
right,
while we're negotiating with you. And then I guess the thought was that they would actually sign him. He would come back, beat Magnus, and be the champion. They were unable to come to terms, so he had to come back and drop the title.
Wow.
And now he's working Ring of Honor, which I'm very happy with and enjoying.
Wow.
Going to enjoy when he shows up.
Wow.
In a couple of weeks. Also behind this is Jeff Jarrett, who's a minority owner of the company,
right,
and who was an executive of the company. He quit legit.
Yeah.
And I know there's someone that's out there who's going to send me a message. No, AJ and Jeff, it's a storyline. They're both part of the company. No, don't be a mark. It's not true. They're gone for now. Maybe AJ comes back down the road and if they can work something out. But it seems like there's some bad blood there. So
legit bad blood.
Yeah, it seems like it didn't go well. So that's that. He's gone. And now they're doing all new TNA once again.
All right.
So I go, you know what? I'm the mark. I'm calling people marks. I'm a mark. I go, okay, I'll watch this. And just a terrible show. And the big rumor coming out of the show is that it looks like Vince Russo may be back with the company. And if you watch this show and the show before this last week, I would say it's true based on the things they've done here.
The way they booked stuff, right?
It seems to have that pattern of stupidity and insanity.
Right.
So, screw them, man. They're done. I have no... Screw... So
that's it? Don't even talk about it? Just skip it? We won't talk about TNA this week?
You could go through it quickly because it's funny to go through the insanity, but...
All right, so...
I have no faith that they'll ever turn this around.
Right.
If that's the road they're going down. And based on what I saw here, no. It's never going to work. It's never going to happen for them.
So, this week was the first week where... First of all, they didn't even announce this. They said... They have these pay-per-views now that aren't pay-per-views anymore. They're just regular TV shows, but they try to have pay-per-view quality matches.
Which is fine because, okay, you watch it for free and it's supposed to be good. But the whole show's talking and it was
right, and that's what I want to say. So it's supposed to be Genesis this week, right?
Yeah.
And they advertised like 6 high-profile matches. They're all going to be on this week. The show starts, and the first segment's a half an hour of talking.
Of her. She's terrible.
And you're like watching this, and as you're watching this, you're like, now wait a minute. I thought they're supposed to have all these matches. Then all of a sudden they announce, oh, Genesis is so big, it's 2 weeks. Like, what? Like, so last week you advertised matches. Maybe 3 of those matches were the ones I really wanted to see, and now I tune in and it's not even on the fucking show.
Well, not even that. You got to give some kind of thing to watch. There was nothing to watch. A half hour of Dixie Carter.
It's true.
You can't even say it's anything.
All right, so Dixie comes out, says absolutely nothing interesting. Says, I'd like to thank everyone who teamed up with me last week and helped us to basically start the new TNA. So all the heels come out. And as they're celebrating in the ring, Sting appears in the rafters. And he says, that's it, Dixie. This is it. There's dissension tonight. It's not going to be, your way anymore. As of tonight, things are going to change. And then, of course, that prompts all the faces to come out. So
it's
there's
just
a big brawl between the faces and the heels.
It's a terrible version of what the WWE is doing, which is not even good.
Right.
Like, what the WWE storyline is bad. This is like a worse version of that. And it's stuff that's just been done so many times. Like, yeah, Sting in the rafters. Like, we talked to the evil GM person about how I don't like them and we're going to take back the company. And
Right.
And Magnus is the Cabra champion. Rockstar Spud is... I don't know what's going on. All the heels are together.
Right, they're all teamed up now.
And Dixie hates all the faces.
Yes. So, there's a big melee. It's then announced, we're going to have a match.
Why does Bobby Roode want Magnus to be champion? Why doesn't he want to be the champion? Why doesn't...
You tell me.
I was like...
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
So then they decide they're going to turn this melee into a 12-man tag match, which is fine, but...
It's fun, it's good.
It's all right as a good start to the show, and of course the faces win, but what does it really do for them? So you won a match. Does that mean that you've won power back? No. So really, what did they get them? They didn't get them anywhere.
That was the entertaining part of the show, because there was actually like stuff happening in the ring.
Right.
And that was fun. But everything around it and everything involved in it chokes it, and makes it not good.
Kurt Angle, all night furious, running around looking for Dixie Carter.
A lot of terrible backstage things.
Yes. He attacks Al Snow.
Sometimes people know the cameraman's there. Sometimes they don't. They act like they don't know. I think Magnus was in a mirror and he didn't know that.
Look at himself in a mirror, Magnus. What a segment.
Yeah. It's Russo style, man, with those backstage things. That's why everyone's thinking
he's back. So finally, Angle ends up attacking Al Snow because Al Snow was the one who tricked him into leaving the week before. Then we've got Chris Sabin and freaking
Velvet.
And Velvet Sky with their stupid plot line where he mistreats Velvet every week. This week, Austin Aries gets involved. And
he says, what does he say? I want the pigeon pie.
A delicious
and then
piece of pigeon pie.
She thought that was like really like.
She's like, oh,
that was a
pigeon
great
pie.
That was a great compliment. That was a great compliment.
Yeah, it's real dumb. And
good God.
So they're gonna have a match. They're gonna have a match for the X Division title next week. I guess they said it was.
There's like multiple storylines in TNA where like women are being abused. There's that one where Sabin's an abusive boyfriend and Velvet's fine with this.
Yeah.
Or she's like confused. She doesn't understand what's happening.
What should I do?
And then the one with Sam Shaw and Christy Hemme where he's like harassing her and
he's
shit.
Looking at her weird ways and saying
there's like
shit
there's multiple sexual harassment storylines happening on the same show. On the same show.
This is the new TNA. This is what
sexual harassment.
What Dixie wants.
What the?
So speaking of sexual harassment and sexism, they're gonna have an X Division title match where Velvet Sky's locked in a cage.
What?
Yes. It's not that, we need to keep Velvet backstage so she doesn't interfere in the match. We're going to lock her in a cage at ringside so that there's no interference and so that Chris Sabin doesn't ask her to do anything during the match. He has to win legitimately. And by the way, if Austin Aries wins the title back, Velvet Sky's going to dump Chris Sabin. That's the plot line.
What the hell is this?
Okay.
Why is this? Chris Sabin and Austin Aries. You put them in the ring. You give them 15 minutes. They'll give you an incredible match if you don't hold them back, man.
I don't know.
That's what TNA should do.
I don't know.
They will give you a match that WWE can't give you because they won't allow that to happen. But no, we have to have a storyline with the girlfriend. You're a jerk to her. It's like so. It's not even like creative the way it's done. He calls her like toots and stuff and like 1940s terms.
Really, right.
Like what? What the hell?
Okay.
Screw them.
Sam Shaw, who you just mentioned, a new wrestler at TNA, viciously attacks Simon Diamond in the back.
Shoe.
He beats the shit out of him with his own shoe for no reason. Pretty funny.
It wasn't supposed to be funny, though. It was supposed to be like, oh my God.
Yeah, like I can't believe how brutal the brutality of all this.
It was actually comical.
We had Bully Ray versus Anderson in a no DQ match.
Yeah, I got a story about this.
Okay.
I went to a show a couple weeks ago, the one night only thing, whatever the hell they're calling them, and they did Bully Ray versus Tommy Dreamer. And it was the exact same match that they did here.
Really? Same spots and everything?
It was the same exact finish.
Wow.
Where Dreamer pulled the table out, lit it, or poured the gas on it, and the crowd's like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be a flaming table spot. It's gonna be great." But then he turns around and Bully attacks him and pins him, which is exactly what they did here.
Right.
Which is insane. But that was the third match on the show.
Huh.
That I went to, and they completely lost the audience after that, because the arena was the Mid-Hudson Civic Center, Poughkeepsie, New York, which is Dreamer's like home arena. He runs shows there, and they did an angle at his show where Bully Ray came out. So everyone went to this TNA show not because they liked TNA, but because they wanted to see the culmination of the storyline that Dreamer ran on his program.
Right.
So you think it's the main event? No, it was the third match in 10 minutes, and that's the finish. You tease a fire spot, you don't give the fans it. And they did it again last night with Anderson.
Same show, right? Same exact
match.
Wow. And the thing that gets me is that you've had months of build-up for this match. Bully's Bully's different. He's not the same. He's changed. And then the match happens. Nothing really happens in the match. You know what I mean?
Like, you gotta keep doing it, man.
There's like no culmination. It's
real
real
odd. Keep doing it.
All right. So let's go on further here. Angle finally gets his hands on Dixie Carter, and Dixie basically says she's not gonna do this. She can do whatever she wants with the company. She can handle Kurt however she wants. She was afraid that Kurt would do something that he regretted, and therefore because of that, that's why she did it. She lied about his family, so she's looking out for his best interests. Kurt looks like he's gonna lose it, so she has security try to escort him out, but he won't go. So Bobby Roode comes, beats the living shit out of him, and then they get rid of him. And it's like, wow.
Well, next week they're actually going to do the match, I guess.
The match, yeah. Angle versus Bobby Roode was supposed to be this week, but they postponed it until next week. Oh.
I won't watch.
Knockouts.
I will not be watching.
Knockouts have a title match. Gail Kim against Madison Rayne, and Lady Tapa gets thrown out during the match for interfering, and which allows Madison Rayne to get the upper hand. She's the new Knockouts champion.
Yeah.
Madison Rayne, they brought her back. I guess because they lost everyone else, they need more female wrestlers. They brought her back.
Well, she was on leave and she came back.
She's good. I think she's good. She's good in the ring,
I like all of them. I like all of them.
Oh, you like all the attractive female wrestlers?
No, all the
on the show. You like them.
I like all the knockouts. I think they're all really good.
Especially ODB. That's your favorite.
She's fun.
All right, there you go.
You'd have a hell of a night with her, hanging out with her, man. I'll tell you that much. Lady Tapa's not very good in the ring. She tends to just like...
She's getting... She has to build... She has to get less green, basically.
All she does is she puts you in the corner and she runs at the corner. And sometimes she'll hit you and sometimes you'll move. And she hurts herself and then she goes on the ground. But I like all the knockouts, actually. I think they're all good. But again, all the booking and all the shit around it suffocates it and makes it suck.
Right.
So...
Okay, I think the last thing that really we need to talk about is the signing of Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards.
Probably the worst debut ever.
Who they're not called the American Wolves anymore, they're just the Wolves.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of these guys. It looked like they were going to WWE, but as I predicted, didn't work out that well. They had a match or two in NXT, and then, which kind of proves a lot about WWE, because honestly, those two are among the best wrestlers in the world. But WWE's not really doesn't really do wrestling, so they go, no, you're not coming here.
They can't get it to work.
So TNA picks them up, and that's a great pickup for them. It's great for their roster, because those are the kind of guys that you put in the ring with anyone. They give them a good match. They work hard and they're good hands, and just great to have on your roster. Just really good wrestlers that can make everyone look better and the show look better. But instead, TNA, they even messed that up. It was just a very awkward segment. It was about 30 seconds. They come out, or Dixie's backstage with
them.
I guess we don't see the camera now. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, who knows?
The cameraman doesn't exist right now. And she's like, "Oh, you're here. You have a tryout match next week." And they go, "We already have contracts.
We already have full contracts."
And then she looks at the paper. A new investor in TNA. TNA doesn't have public stock, first of all, so I don't know how that happens. But yeah, again, a storyline's been done a million times in WWE and everywhere else. A mystery investor or a mystery guy. It's probably Vince Russo.
It's so boring. It's actually making me yawn.
It's probably Vince Russo.
Plot line. It's
honestly,
the same shit, right? Now the question is, will TNA will they actually give Davey and Eddie the respect that they deserve.
Well, I know for a
let them
fact.
shine.
I know for a fact they don't have a match next week.
Right, because it's the second half of Genesis, right?
So I don't know. What you do with those guys? Like, would have been perfect. A perfect way to bring them in. You have the Bromans in the ring of the champions. You have them come out. You have them beat the shit out of them, do some of their stuff.
Right.
And then Dixie's like, "Who are these fuckers? They're not supposed to be here." And then she gets the note that says there's a new investor, and that would be perfect. Because you get them over in a way that shows like what they can do. It's wrestling based, and then it still kind of goes into the stupid storyline they want to do if you want to do that. But instead, it's just nothing.
Right. Real weird.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the final segment of the night is Sting against EC3. Sting finally supposedly going to get his hands on EC3. All right. And the worst match ever. And not because these guys can't wrestle, even though EC3 is still green. It's because
Spud keeps coming in.
Here we go. Rockstar Spud is the special guest ref. He won't count for Sting. He tells Sting to stop hitting, EC3. All this complete nonsense. Then at one point, Spud gets knocked out. So then who's the replacement ref? Magnus. It's the dumbest fucking match ever. Obviously, they're building to a point where, it's going to look like Dixie can do whatever she wants, and then this investor will say, no, you can't. And it's going to be a war between
the power
two factions.
struggle.
It's the same thing that always has. Right. It's the same generic bullshit. And
they're done. They're never going anywhere, dude, because they always shoot themselves. Every time they get anything going, you got rid of the Bischoff Hogan thing. No, now we're doing this. It's if you like, let's just say you watch WWE. What reason do you have to put this on?
Unless you like someone who's there, I don't.
But it's not even different. Really, it's. I think the only way you could pull from that audience, you give it's an alternative. So you have something they don't have.
Right.
Whether it be this is more of a wrestling product or this is we present things differently.
Right.
Because all they do is try to be them, and they're actually worse than them, and they're not even good in the first place.
Right.
So it's just not good.
Okay.
And I tried. I've gone to 10 TNA shows over the years. I've bought their pay-per-views. Tried. No, they're
no.
They can't do this.
All right. So next week on the second half of Genesis for TNA, you're gonna have Angle versus Rude in a steel cage. You're gonna have Gunner versus Storm for Gunner's TNA title contract that they got in what was it, Feast or Fired a few weeks ago. We've got Aries versus Sabin for the X Division title with Velvet Sky outside the ring in a in a cage, like a caged animal. And then finally, the culmination. This was the match that was announced at the end of the show. Sting versus Magnus for the TNA title. If Sting loses, he's fired.
And I saw the results of the show. It's not going to be good. It's not going to be a good show.
Come on. Velvet Sky in a cage at least? Is it going to knock it up a couple notches, you think?
I don't remember that one.
Oh.
But they don't act like that means anything,
Yeah.
They just swap the belts 4 times?
Yes.
So they don't even...
It's going back and forth, yeah. So. All right, so the bottom line is this. Wrestling's in a weird spot right now. WWE trying to build to the Royal Rumble, to what they're going to be doing to build up to WrestleMania. TNA is doing whatever the fuck they want to do. I don't know what they're thinking. So it's a really weird time right now.
Completely.
Next week will be the final week before the Royal Rumble, so we will have a little bit of a clearer picture of what that pay-per-view is going to look like. We'll have our predictions, for the Royal Rumble, stuff like that. And obviously, whatever the second half happens with Genesis, we'll be talking about that as well next week. Whoa. I don't know where that came from. Excuse me. And then in addition to that, we will be simulating the Royal Rumble pay-per-view in WWE 2K14. And we'll probably be doing, as we usually do, some fantasy fun matches as well with crazy characters and stuff. Because, thank goodness, the game actually works. We can actually download those characters. We'll see who we can find. See if we can do some funny stuff with the game. We did this for Christmas. We did this previously the month before when the game came out. People loved it. So definitely come on back next week and check us out for those simulation matches. Those will be here on stream and also on my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming, if you don't catch the live stream. Okay? Any final thoughts, John, after this month of hiatus? Anything you want to say before we sign off?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I'm enjoying Ring of Honor quite a bit right now. They have a lot of new returns of Chris Hero came back, and AJ Styles is going to be on in 2 weeks. The TV show, which you can watch for free at their website, Had Kevin Steen versus Chris Hero this week, which I really liked a lot.
Wow.
And I've also enjoyed New Japan Pro Wrestling. Wrestle Kingdom 8 was last month in the end of December, which I really enjoyed. It's like 4 or 5 hours long. Really great stuff there. You can watch. I watched it on YouTube. Has it there, so you're not supposed to watch it on there, but it's on there.
But it's on there.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
it. Got nothing else.
Very good. All right. So thank you everyone for watching Smark Guys. After our hiatus here, we'll have a few weeks now at least where we'll hopefully have consistent shows. At least until I think it's like that Valentine's Day weekend is the weekend that I'm going to be busy. So we've got several weeks, through January, even early February. So come on back.
Actually,
check us
one more
out
thing
when
to
you get
say.
a chance.
If I have a minute.
Okay, go ahead.
I forgot to
Go
mention
ahead.
this. At the TNA show that I went to, okay? This is supposed to be like a pay-per-view show. They had Magnus, the champion, versus Samoa Joe, a title match. There was an insane botch situation at this, where Joe hits the Muscle Buster, and he goes for the cover. And of course, it's TNA. They always do the same bullshit in the main event. So the ref has his legs dangling outside the ring. I wonder why that is. So what's supposed to happen is the ref's supposed to count 1, 2, and they get pulled out because EC3 comes out to pull the ref. But they fucked it up. So the ref goes 1, 2, 3, looking around, doesn't know what to do. EC3 is about 2 minutes late. He then runs out, pulls him out. And then another ref comes in. Of course, Magnus wins. But it was just so bizarre how late he came out and how messed up that was.
What the hell was he doing? He's taking a shit in the back.
His cue was wrong. It's not like this is a small building. Like, it's maybe
right.
Maybe 1,500 seats. So it's not like he has to run down a huge ramp. So that was my little story. The crowd was just like, completely lost on the show. It was something. So there you go.
All right, so that is it for the first edition of Smark Guys of 2014. We thank you for joining us here today, whether it was on stream or on YouTube. We'll be back next week with the lead into the Royal Rumble, with Royal Rumble simulation matches. It's going to be a fun week, so don't miss it. And that's pretty much it. So for John Rambo, I'm Darkside Phil. Thanks a lot for watching. Peace out. See you next time.
All right.